Hey artists, in this video we're going to talk about how to make a Notan inspired landscape using the program Google Drawings. We're going to be using the shapes tools and the polyline tool to create this type of an artwork. We're also going to be using the format options, flip horizontally and flip vertically tools. So to start off, you're going to make a big shape that is black using the rectangle tool. I also like to center this up on the middle of my canvas using the red crosshairs. I fill color it black, and then I'm going to start working with the other shapes in the toolbar to create my landscape. There are some tools and shapes that you can use, like the cloud shape. You're going to use format options to flip horizontally and flip vertically, then align your shapes to create a balanced artwork. The shapes that are outside of your square should be colored black. The shapes that are cut inside of your black shape should be colored white. On the bottom of the composition, I'm going to create some houses using the rectangle and triangle shapes. So I'm going to create a variety of heights and widths for my houses, and then I'm going to use the triangle shape to build the roofs. You could also use the arrow shape from the toolbar, but I chose to do it with the basic shapes so that I had more control over each part of the house, controlling the width and the height of each one of the shapes. Once I was happy with everything, I started to remember to remove the transparent outlines from being black to making them transparent. And then once I was happy with the houses, I pressed shift, clicked on all of the pieces, and then I flipped them so that I could work smarter and not harder. Those shapes that are outside are going to be recolored to be black. I wanted to add more detail to the houses, so I zoomed in on that area I was working on, and I used the rectangle shape to make a window. Now, these shapes that I'm going to make are going to be black first. To create balance, I want to have that contrasted piece, and then I'm going to press shift and click on them and then flip them over and line them up, then use the arrow key to bring them down. This is how I'm creating balance in my cut style Notan artwork. As I'm working, I can use from the callouts the star shape, and I'm going to just duplicate the stars and fill up the sky area. By using Control D, I'm able to duplicate the stars much more quickly. With the stars, I'm going to duplicate them and I'm going to flip them in different areas. So first I recolored them all white, and then I'm going to duplicate and slide over to the side. Now for the ones that are going vertically, I'm going to have to flip this one so that the points are now facing down. Then I'm going to press shift and click on some more of the stars, duplicate them, and flipping them horizontally doesn't really change their appearance, so I'm just going to line them up, click on those stars outside of my shape, and color them black. Now I'm going to add a shape with the polyline tool. This point, I'm going to start clicking and trying to make a tree with some bare branches, like maybe a fall tree. But as I'm working, I'm not zoomed in, so I accidentally make just a line. So if you're going to use polyline tool, it will really help if you zoom in using the trackpad or the magnifying glass in the toolbar. I'm going to try and make my tree very detailed using lots of branches coming out from one trunk. I'm going to use that corner of the black rectangle as my home base for this tree because I'm going to flip it horizontally and make the tree mirrored symmetrically on the left and on the right. So this might take you a little bit of time. If you'd like to add a tree in a different style, you could try something more simple like using the rectangle shape and maybe the cloud shape and maybe layering the cloud shape so that you can make a tree that looks like maybe a spring tree. So as I'm clicking and moving the mouse, I'm really taking my time to try and keep my branches looking interesting for my design. And then I'm going to finish it off by bringing the line back towards the edge and then down towards the corner, filling in the whole corner. Then I'm going to fill color it white, duplicate it, Then I'm going to make sure it's selected and flip horizontally using the format options, size and rotation, and then I'm going to make it black. This tree makes a big impact in my artwork. I'm also going to use the polyline tool to make a little bird flying in the sky. So just freehanding the shape of his head and then adding a wing and then a little tail and closing it off. Then I'm going to use the fill color to make it white. I'm going to make sure that it's selected. I'm going to duplicate it, flip it horizontally, and line it up on the left side. Sometimes using those crosshairs will really help you get things in a good spot. Then I'm going to remove all of the outlines from all of the shapes by selecting it all and then dragging it. I noticed that this one doesn't feel like it's in the right spot, so I tried to line it up a little bit better. I didn't like some of the placement of the stars, so I revised some of those stars, and the ones that were close to the center, I decided to select them and then duplicate them and make them flipped vertically. So I flipped them vertically, made them black, and then I realized that my artwork was going off of the gray background of the canvas. So I resized my canvas to make it a little bit larger, and then I recentered my entire artwork because at this point, I think I'm just about done. Once you're finished, you're going to want to make sure that you type your name in the corner of your artwork so that it's easier for me to return back to you after it's printed out or display in the hallway. Then you're going to use File, Download, JPEG, or PNG image. I can't wait to see what you create for your Notan landscape.